Hey guys, today I'm going to be reconstructing my 25.33 official mean, which was the winning mean at the World Championship. As some of you might know, I use domino reduction in a lot of my solves these days, and I'm glad that it worked out this time. As you can see, in my last official mean, it didn't go so well. But anyways, I hope you guys can learn something from this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's go straight into the first scramble. On the first scramble, I started on the normal scramble, and I noticed that on the red and orange front, there are 8 bad edges, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, and then 2 just right here. So this is a really easy EO setup by just doing an F or an F prime. I chose to do an F prime. It moves all of the bad edges to the R face and the L face. And then I chose to do R prime L to finish the EO. And then I also noticed that that first F prime reduces the green and blue face to 2 bad edges. And that's a good thing for domino reduction. Generally, less bad edges is better. And now on the inverse scramble, I noticed that there's like this bar thing. So if you do an F, these 2 corners will be oriented. And then this is a bad edge, and this is the other bad edge. So I just did a U2 to move the 2 bad edges to one face, because doing an F would still leave 2 bad edges. And luckily for me, it leaves 2 bad edges and only 3 unoriented corners left. And that is in 5 moves. And this is generally the best case for setting up to DR, because you can set it up to RU prime R prime or RU R prime. So that's DR minus 2 edges and 3 corners in 5 moves, and then I switch back to the normal scramble. So on the normal scramble, I noticed that on this side there's like this block, so the 2 bad edges are here, and an unoriented corner is facing this way. So this is pretty close to the L prime U L setup. All I have to do is put the corners in the right place, and just do L prime U L and DR is done. So first I did an F2 to move this corner here, and then the last corner, which is this one, needs to go here. So without breaking EO or anything, I just did L2, U2. It moves it over here, and now I can just do B prime D, B prime, and domino reduction is solved. As you can see, all of the colors on the top and bottom are white and yellow. And from this point, I switch back to the inverse scramble. Now on the inverse scramble, I basically just block build a bit. So doing a U makes this square easy enough. And then I also noticed that this pair gets formed when doing the U. So now I can just connect this to this edge by doing a B2. That makes another square. And then I inserted a square with an L2. And now it's a pseudo 2x2x3 by adding 3 moves. So I just switch back to the normal to correct the pseudo. So now on the normal scramble, I just need to do an R2 to finish that 2x2x3. So that's a 2x2x3 and 15 moves, which doesn't sound great, but because it's domino reduction, anything can happen. And now, at this point, I just saw immediately that this could be reduced to a minimum amount of corners in very little moves, which is just F2U, F2U prime, F2. And turns out it becomes an A prime, which is 3C. So look at that again. There's this block here and then this block here. F2U, F2U prime, F2. And that reduces it to 3 corners in 20 moves. And then I went ahead and did insertions. And at this point, the interchange is a B2, which is the move after that. And the first move of the insert is L prime. So that cancels also one move with the move before. So L prime, F prime, L, B2, L prime, F, L, B2. That cancels 3 moves, which gives me a final solution of 25 moves. I was very happy with that. I found that in about 30 minutes, I think. And then I didn't find anything better after that. Now let's move on to the second solve. On the second solve, I started on the inverse scramble. And this time I did not use domino reduction because I didn't find any good domino starts. But of course I do EO. I did EO, which I always do. On the green front axis, there are 6 bad edges, 2 on this side, 3 on this face, and then 1 here. So doing a B fixes these 3 edges and makes this a bad edge, and that fits perfectly because now these 2 bad edges can fit here easily within 2 moves. You can do either RD2 or D prime R, which is the one that I chose, and then F to finish the EO. Now I switched back to the normal scramble. Now on the normal scramble, I did pretty inefficient block building, I would say, because I added 4 moves to make it 2x2x2, but it's pretty simple. It's basically just connecting this edge with this block, and because this edge is already in place, it will solve itself pretty easily with R prime D2 R D2. So that's an EO 2x2x2 in 8 moves, which usually wouldn't be the way to go, but right after that there's this line, and doing a U prime makes a square, but to finish like a whole 1x2x3 block, just inserting this edge with a B2, that doesn't break the EO, and then a U prime that finishes the 1x2x3 block, and that's in 10 moves. Then from this point on, I just solved this edge to the back, which is like kind of simple. So hide the 1x2x3 with an R2, then move this all the way over to the back with a U2, then R, B2, R prime. So that's a pseudo F2L-1 in 15 moves. But hey, there's a block here, a square here. This is like mind-blowing. So I just did L to hide this block, and then insert this edge with a U prime, R prime, and then just undo those moves before. U, L, U prime, and that's 3C in 21 moves. And that last bit, the L, U prime, R prime, U, L prime, U prime, that's just basically cancelling into a commutator. So that's 3 corners in 21 moves, and then I did insertions. So I did the insertions at this point, and it's just a necklace. So it goes D prime, B, U, B prime, D, B, U prime, B prime, and the moves in the beginning and the end cancel 1 each. So that's a cancellation of 2, and a final solution of 27. I found this pretty early on, like in the first solve, but I didn't find anything until I found this 15-3-3C with only 15 minutes left. It starts off with the same EO start, B, D prime, R, F, but then in the inverse, basically I just make this square with this yellow blue and this yellow blue red, L prime D L, but it's also a pseudo 2x2x2, so I switch back to the normal scramble. So here I corrected the pseudo by doing a D2. That makes it 2x2x2 in 8 moves. And then, what did I do? Oh, I inserted this edge here, RU prime R prime, which makes a pseudo 2x2x3 and also adds this pair. And then I fixed this pseudo in the inverse and switched back to the normal. So we're still in a normal scramble here, but this is after doing an R2 on the inverse to correct the pseudo. And then basically I just tried to build this square, B2 LU L prime, and turns out it's a 3 edges and 3 corners left. But this, I only had 15 minutes left and I rushed the insertions, and I did find a 27, which does nothing for me because I already have a 27. And turns out insertion finder also says that the optimal is 27. So that's kind of unfortunate for a 3E3C. You would usually you would usually find like about 11 moves to solve 3E3C, but it just didn't work out as well this time. So yep, that's the second solve, and now let's move on to the best solve, the last solve. Okay, on the last solve I did domino again, and I started on the normal scramble. And the funny thing is I found this domino start in the first minute of the attempt, which is ridiculous and very lucky. First I did EO on the red and orange face. So this is sort of similar to the EO on the first scramble because 3 bad edges are on one side here, 3 bad edges are on one side here, but it's like on the opposite ends. And then the other 2 bad edges are on this piece, and this and this piece. So it's very similar. So just doing an R2 sets it up to basically the same EO case we had in the first solve. So I did B prime, and now all of the bad edges are on the left and right. I did RL. And then I immediately see like this line that looks very DRable, if you know what I mean. But no, at the back here, there's like this 1x2x3 block of unoriented edges, and if you just do a B, it will orient all of these pieces. And to actually reduce it to domino, because there are 6 bad edges here, I would have to put 4 bad edges on one side, and then that would leave 2 bad edges. So I saw that this is a bad edge, so by doing a D and then a B prime, that reduces it, that fixes 4 edges, but unfortunately there are still 4 bad corners, because by doing a B prime, it ruins this already oriented corner. So before doing a D, I did an F2 to insert this random edge, corner, and then a D and a B prime, and now it's reduced to 2 bad edges, 1, 2, and 3 unoriented corners. But I immediately saw that this is already set up to a case that I know, which is just U2 RU R prime, and now it's domino. So if you have like this block here and this block here and one unoriented corner here, it's just an RU R prime to reduce it to domino reduction. So that's domino reduction in 11 moves. Oh, sorry, the last move I did was an F because it makes 2 more pairs. Yep, domino reduction in 11 moves, and then I switch. So for about 15-20 minutes, I used this domino reduction, and all I could find are 17 and 18 to 3 edges and 3 corners, which usually would give a good solution, but I glanced through the insertions and only saw 1 cancel on the edge insertions. And after a while, I found this really amazing skeleton, and it continues from the inverse scramble. Wait, this is not DR. Wait, let me fix this. And it continues on the inverse scramble. As you can see, domino is done this time. Basically what I did here is I found this L2 move makes this pair. And then U2 connects it to the square here. And then B2 finishes the 2x2x2. But then like this pseudo 2x2x3 appears and stuff. But from this point on, you can just do R2 U prime, and that solves a bunch of pieces at random spots. Oh, so bright. Yeah, it solves a bunch of pieces at random spots, but it's only 3 corners, so that's only 1 insertion, and 2E2E, so this cycles this way and this cycles this way. So that only requires 2 insertions, and that's 2E2EC in 16 moves. And I also noticed that the last 2 moves, if you just track the edge, like where the edges are, U-R2, it's on this spot. So before even doing insertions, I know that I'll get a 6 mover, and there's a high chance of cancelling a lot of moves. So I went ahead and did the insertion on that spot. Oh, why is it so bright? Ah, sun, please. Okay, I love natural lighting and all, but the light is so inconsistent. Ah! Okay. And we're back here, and as I predicted, it is a 6 mover case, and the normal way to solve it is F2 U2 F2 U2 F2 U2. Oh my god, why is it so bright? God. Oh, the sun. Help. The sun just appeared. Oh. Okay, it's going away. Okay. I'm saved. Okay, where were you at? Yeah, I know that there are a lot of ways to solve this 2E2E, and I just tried to come up with the alg that would cancel the most on the spot. So I just did B2 U2, and then B2, Then, oh, the rest can be solved with a d2, f2, d2. If I just inverse that, it would be d2, f2, d2, b2, u2, b2. And that last u2 and b2 cancels with the next two moves, so that cancels 4 moves, which gives 3c in 18 moves. Yeah, so this is the insertion. I did the interchange is a R move, so that cancels with the R next to it. So D L2 D prime R D L2 D prime R prime, and the R prime cancels 2 moves, which gives me a final solution of 24 moves. And I'm tied with Chris Chi. That's great. Wait, let me get pushing.